Hi, this is John Beethan with Heard Not Seen. This is episode 26, and I'm the producer. And this is really sort of a treat because what you're going to hear is 3 car rants from Rebekah. And this was recorded when she was driving here, there, and everywhere over the Christmas season. And just a forewarning, yes, it's explicit, like everything Rebekah does is very explicit. Buckle up, here we go.
So I'm out here in Elsinore, California, on my way to watch some football because I have been run by this energy called procrastination. I'll get to it tomorrow, the other day, and really struggling with that. And then deep down there's this like hubris, this pride that comes up to like hide the fact that there's a denial in place. And when I really am able to admit to myself that my failings come from this, I point out the obvious. I point out the obvious to people. I'm a coach. I'm a freaking mentor. I've read a lot. Look at my degrees. And I'm female. So, praise me. No one gives a fuck. They can look at all of that and assess it themselves. The subtleties in our life, the energies that we're not willing to cop to are the things that are the most powerful. Being able to just say you know what? I struggle with procrastination, and it's not really about me getting to the gym. It's the fact that I have fallen down. Maybe that's not obvious because I keep convincing myself that I'm standing up. That's the unobvious thing, right? Being able to be like, life has kicked my ass. I am on my fucking ass here, and it doesn't matter what role you're playing, whether you're a banker for Wells Fargo or you're an environmentalist or you're a politician or you're a mom at home, whatever job title you've stepped into, that's obvious. What's not obvious is the behind the scenes, the energy and the choices you made to get there, and what's not obvious is what motivated those choices. That is the truth. That is the reality. Why are you where you are in life? What has motivated those choices? Was it the things that your parents told you growing up, and so you just accepted that and swallowed it whole and stopped asking questions after 3rd grade, and you were just like, I'm just going to do what I'm told? Is that really what you want to do with your life, is just to bow down to the people who are doing the same thing over and over and not creating different results, and you're just sitting here being like, yeah, I want to be a part of that crowd because at least, quote unquote, I'll belong? What the fuck are you belonging to? You're belonging to the obvious, We can't all be special. Is that true? Is that statement true? If I told you that, would you be like, yeah, you're right. We can't all be special. Or would you question it? Would you be like, you know what? What is special, even what I want? Is that what I want? Do I need to stand out to be effective? Ask. Do you need to stand out to be effective? Or can you be the producer behind the scenes that is manipulating the energy of the world to the degree that you are living exactly in the pocket, where you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have? Do you want to have material things because someone told you that material things bring you happiness? Is that really, and it's true, being in a fast fucking car, riding in a Maserati and watching that hammer drop and your body go back into that soft plush leather, it is awesome. It is awesome. Being able to be in a place where there is 100,000 motorcycles all burning out at the same time, like the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, and seeing the people like the hamsters, the New Hampshire hamsters with the 6-figure income and the custom bikes, that is awesome. That is awesome. Now, again, is it going to be the things that's more esoteric and fulfill you? Is it going to be the freedom that's going to make you light up from the inside out? Is that material thing? Yeah, it's going to touch that. It's going to scratch that itch for maybe a minute, but keep in mind, it's just an itch and there's more to it than just that. Because we are meant for more, and that's exactly the energy of living in a body, right? Our bodies are constantly in evolution. We don't stay babies for our entire life. We grow long limbs, long legs, and athletic bodies, and we be able to expand our minds. We are constantly in a state of expansion, and we replicate that which we have expanded upon. Like if you want to look at your cells, you want to look at the DNA, the actual underpinning of our realities, it is completely in cooperation with the expansive energy. What have you fed yourself? And education doesn't necessarily happen in the classroom. It happens through experience. It happens through the real life choosing action, reaction. for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That law of thermodynamics is totally true, and energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be transformed into something more than it is right now by the renewing of your mind. Believe this, that the obvious is true, that overcoming objections is something that we do naturally as children. We don't have to be taught that. We're like, yeah, and why, and why, and why, and why, and never stop questioning until you see that persistence is the thing that breaks down the door. The minute that we try twice and give up is the minute our lives end. It ends. Game over. Why are you even playing? You're just sucking oxygen at this point. You are not Muhammad Ali in the ring. You are not Abraham Lincoln on the stage. You are not fighting anything except for a civil war inside yourself between you and procrastination. And then you go out into the world and you present everything that's fucking obvious. That's obvious. We present this persona, this mask. Everybody can look at it and be like, yeah, we see your body. We see whether you're 300 pounds or like you're the most fit athlete in the world. That's obvious. But what is not obvious is the motivation, the motive, the thing behind the thing, the deep-seated things hidden in the shadows. Are you going to stick with it? Are you going to be able to open that door? Are you going to be able to see like what is presenting in the world? How do people see you? It's not how you see yourself. Be assured of that. The way that you see yourself is not how the world sees you, right? Because we try to make up stories about how good and benevolent we are. And that we just chose the right thing, that we had good intentions, that we didn't know better. That's a bunch of bullshit. Of course you know better. You are tapped in to infinite wisdom and infinite realities and the infinite power of creation. So in this moment, the thing that you're choosing to focus on is the most obvious. It's what's in front of you. What's in front of you has nothing to do with the vision that's inside of you. I'm going to say that again. Can I get an amen? I'm going to preach. All right? I'm going to preach. What is in front of you is not as important as that vision that lives inside of you. Do not let your focus fool you for what else is out there that's going to be created through you. Oh, come on. Can I get an amen? I am stomping on the floor. Yes. Yes. That focus of what is in front of you is not as important as what wants to move through you. How can you get out of your own way? Do not be obsessed with the things that are present in this moment. They are only the realization that life will kick your fucking ass. It'll take your money. It'll rape you. It'll be able to say like, no, you are not good enough. And then it'll make you prove to other human beings that you are. That is the lowest common denominator, that you get somebody else to clap and say, good fucking job. Good job. Get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Stop leaning into what's obvious. You know, I walk around being like, I want to be a motivational speaker and I'm female, so that makes me special. No, it doesn't. The message that is moving through you is what is special. Who cares about the container? Who cares? Maybe you were born without, there's a bunch of people born without legs that are like public speakers now. Yay, that's fucking obvious. You know why their message matters? Is because they are strong enough to get out of their own way, to be like, yeah, this is just the container, but let's not stop at that. Let's stop at perseverance, overcoming doubt, the discipline to say, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm not going to just do it because I feel like it. I feel good. I'm in a good mindset. I'm in a good space. I tuned in, tapped on, turned on. No. It doesn't feel good to start a new habit. It feels like shit because you have to admit life has kicked your ass. It has kicked it. You're on the floor looking up at the ceiling being like, oh, those stars are pretty. Those are some pretty fucking stars. Look how sparkly that is. All the while paying attention to the stars like that's your life. Like you're some shooting comet. You're not. You're freaking in the ditch, on the ground, in the floor. It's going to take everything. It's going to take mentors. It's going to take people who have been there, done that, to be able to give you the message that's going to lift you up and inspire you. We all want to do more. Let's just admit it, okay? Let's not make ourselves bad or fakely humble ourselves. Like, no, I don't like material things. Material things are bad. Oil's bad. You know, killing the seals is bad. Mink is bad. Everything's bad. No! We want more, we want more. And you have to be able to be more to advocate for the things that matter to you. If you care about the environment, if you care about not wearing furs, if you care about justice, if you care about peace, if you care about kindness, if you care about global connectedness, if you care about relationships turning into elationships, trademark Rebekah Freedom 2016. That's right. I said from relationships to elationships, those things that we will repeat our old fucking patterns over and over again like a freaking fool, and we just take our generational things and hand them down to the next generation. Stop it. Elationships, the things that elate, lift you up and move that energy out of your body as an expression of joy. And joy is known as a disorder in traditional Chinese medicine because it steals your energy away. Okay? Be real. Be real. It's not about chasing the dream of happiness. It's about being able to be rooted, to rise from the ground up. Get that sound up and lift your arms up because someone needs to hear your message, and don't point out the fucking obvious to them. I'm so special because I had a bad childhood and now I'm a life coach. You should listen to me. You should pay me your money because I'm a life coach. Who gives a... Why are you a life coach? What qualifies you? You read some books? You had a bad childhood? Big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. You know what people need to hear? They need to hear, don't give up. They need to hear, but they don't need to know why. Why should I not give up? Why? There's plenty of things to give up for. Life coaches are people who've given up. They just decided to stick themselves in this little rut saying like, you know what, I'm going to take my story and I'm going to alchemize it and I'm going to make a difference in other people's lives because they're going to listen to my story and it's going to make a big fucking difference. It's going to make a big fucking difference. Well, if Tony Robbins can do it and he was just abused, he was abused growing up and he can just get on stage and he can tell people the same goddamn thing over and over and over again. Mastery has to do with asking questions. Well, what questions should I ask? You have to figure it the fuck out yourself. That's the obvious message. What are you not figuring out? What are you just putting behind the shadows? What are you just tucking away into the things that's subtle? That leads to an indiscriminate life where you're just choosing things out of compulsion, out of fear. What the fuck is fear? Fear, I'll tell you what fear is. Fear as defined by freedom. Fear in the contrast of freedom. Fear is all your fuck-ups that you decided to mock up and make up that they were just a lesson. Oh, that was just a lesson, I just had to do that. I had to choose that and I had to go through that so that I would just learn. What the fuck? No. You decided to be stupid, to cut yourself off from the awareness that was available to you. And the awareness that's available to you is there's always a mentor. There's a book. There's libraries. Libraries, if you want to be rich, study. Ask questions. And yeah, the same equalizer is, I don't have the time. I have to raise my children. I got to go to work. I got to earn money. Yeah, duh, right? That's obvious. Don't get trapped in the motherfucking obvious. Listen. Do you not hear me? Do you not hear what I'm saying? I am preaching. I'm driving. I'm in the middle of okay, so here's the obvious thing. I am on my way to my family's house, and I'm driving up through the hills of Lake Elsinore, and I'm recording this because I spend every day listening to motivational speakers who are talking to audiences that are just like, oh, how do I break through? How do I do it? What do I do? And I'm sitting here reviewing my last year being like, oh, come on. I made $17,000 in 2 months. My first year of business, that's all I made the entire year. So in 2 months' time, I made what I made when I first opened my business. And you know how I did that? I asked for more. I asked for the next level. And then I put systems in place to be able to receive that. And those systems in place were upping my prices and being able to work with people who knew the value in that. And I failed. I failed this last client that called me. She's like, well, I might have to have gallbladder surgery, and I'm not really sure that I want to spend $1,500 in a month of working with you. And granted, I'm not trying to do the Southern voice to make it sound stupid. I'm just saying that we drop down into that lower baser fear of I'm just going to go ahead and replicate. Fear is the replication of the mistakes you have already made and that you are just going to continue to make. That is what fear is. Let's call it spade a fucking spade. Let's call it out, By the way, spades, that spade to spade, that comes from hip hop. The evolution of hip hop, the beginning of the disco used to rule the airwaves. It used to rule Brooklyn. And Brooklyn used to be like a freaking Beirut, but a war zone. And the music that came out of there was all synthesized, and then it changed, and people started being b-boys, and they started dancing and breakdancing just comes from the term of like the break in the music, which was infused to the next break and the next break and the next break, and then all of a sudden now we have what we know as rap and modern hip-hop. And that started, because people invented machines where the machines were played like instruments. And so the thing about it is to be aware of your environment. Your environment is your instrument, and you can play it using the skills of fear, like, oh, I'm just going ahead and make the same mistakes over and over again. Okay. You know why you do that? Because you're stupid. Because you're choosing stupidity. You're cutting yourself off from the awareness that you can train your brain and your body. It is completely formatable. You can format it. You format it so it's formidable, so that you are a wall and a barrier to stupidity. You know how many stupid people are walking around just being like, oh, I'm just going to do it like my parents did it? A lot. You know how many goddamn stupid-ass motherfucking life coaches are out there? A gajillion. You're not special. You're not special because you had a shit childhood and you overcame it, Or you decided to get into athletics and you broke your back and all of a sudden you came back from that. That does not make you special. That's fucking obvious. That's obvious. You know what's not obvious? What motivated your comeback? Was it spirit? Did you just surrender to a higher power or higher place or higher thing? Something that's unexplainable that you will never be able to put in words, but you will be able to transmit through the way, the energy, and who you be in this world. My girlfriend told me this, and I just had to totally accept it and sit in it. She's like, listen, you are not a person that sits in the back pew. You're the person who preaches the sermon. And believe me today that this is a sermon to preach, right? There are people out there that I listen to every single day. Ty Lopez is somebody that is added to my list, and he is all about the Lamborghinis, fast cars, the big house in the Hollywood Hills, flying on jets with models. And at first, it's something it's easy to dismiss. But if you step back and really peel back your judgment, you can receive from anybody, from the stripper on the pole. I love strippers. I love them. They are willing to just receive a shit ton of judgment. And guess what? They earn a crap ton of money for it. They're able to fulfill people's fantasies. They're able to create more than you would ever do for yourself, because you're like, I can't do that. I can't. There's no way I could do that. Well, what you're not willing to do is going to show up in the life that you're living. I struggle with jealousy. And again, my friend, God bless her, Stacey Campbell out of British Columbia, God bless her. She said it this way. She's like, you know what? Turn jealousy into inspiration, because if you look at somebody that has something that you don't have but that you want, it's because they were willing to do something that you had not done yet. Hear me. What have you not done yet to create the life that you want to live? If you're 4 years old and you are in the dump slum, believe me, you can start your training at 5 years old. The minute you know how to read, the whole world is your oyster. If you can read and write, if you have those basic skills, read, write, and arithmetic, the world is your oyster. It's not fucking complicated. Earning money is simply a supply and demand scale. And losing weight is simply calories in, calories out. It's very, very simple. It's like, if this, then that. Ad hoc, ergo propter hoc, motherfuckers. If this, then that. Believe me, the whole reason that I can be who I am today is because I educated myself. But I have dumped my energy into getting lazy. And to just being like, oh, I'll hide behind the screen and I'll just do the social media and I'll care about my SEO. Who gives a fuck about your SEO? People want to see your face. You know the people that are successful? They are running seminars where people come to the seminars and actually show up. People who are running online programs, they're successful because their energy and their body is in that program. No one's going to read, it's very rare, I imagine, that someone reads a freaking document and it's like, I want to pay you $10,000. They want your energy. You have to show up for that, and you have to accept that life is going to kick your ass. It's going to say, you know what, the least common denominator is to be lazy, to sit behind the social media, to post posts, and then hope that something happens. You literally got to make it happen. And making it happen means put your body into the energy, places, people, and things that need you. Who needs you? Everybody. Every fucking person needs you. Everyone's like, create a niche market. Well, your niche market is to be fucking as powerful as you can be and go live that energy out in the world and never fucking stop giving to yourself. Never stop eating well. You know, if you're in the Midwest, corn does not count. All right, honey, you got to get things that are alkaline in your body and in your diet, and make sure that don't take my word for it. Your body can be muscle tested. Muscle testing is a very real way to create a reality that's completely different than the one you're living right now. And that's the whole point of this. All right, I'm going to end this rant because it's clearly these three things. If you walk away from listening to this with nothing else, it's this, okay? The first is don't point out the obvious to the world. It makes you look stupid. No duh. No duh, you want to be a motivational speaker who blah, 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 blah. Keep that in your journal, all right? Shut the fuck up about that. Don't put that out in the world. And I'm saying this to myself because I listen to myself. I put myself out in the world and I'm just like, I'm not afraid to be that person that's like obnoxious and curious, and I'm still learning. Trust me, the content that people go back on, there's no way I'm going to be able to be a politician because of the content that I put out before. I swear like a sailor, and people always get offended. Oh, your curse words make you sound stupid. Fine. I'm okay with it. Fine with it. All right. So don't put out what's obvious in the world. Understand the motivation is the things that you're tucking behind you. And fear is basically the replication of your mistakes, that you're sitting there being like, you know, because you haven't admitted that you got lazy. You got lazy. You got complacent. You got apathetic. You decided, it's easier for me to just click along and spend hours on my phone than it is to put my phone down and risk having a conversation with somebody who needs my message. Who cares what you look like? There's a message. Get out of your own way. There's a message trying to move through you right now, you know? And as far as find people that are mentors, okay? Coaches are good for what they're good for, but you eventually, hopefully you evolve beyond that. You evolve beyond the like violin story, and that you understand that it doesn't, that the real good life, the good life of love, health, wealth, spirituality, that those things take discipline. Discipline will show up for you when you can't show up for life. Woo! Say it again with me. Discipline will show up for me when I cannot show up for life. Put those rituals in place. Get yourself up in the morning. Eat right. Exercise. Absolutely. If you are not moving your body, if you are just being lazy and doing the most common denominator and gravitating, oh, this is more pleasurable to sit on my ass, you've lost. You've already lost. Just quit. Give up. Right? Or choose something else. And that is the energy of freedom. Freedom is the ability to be 100% honest with yourself, to be brutally truthful, to say, you know what? You're right. I got lazy. I've fallen in a rut. I let life kick my ass. I haven't continued to grow and expand out. And the opposite of expansion is atrophy and entropy. Okay? I'm passionate about this. If it's not obvious already by listening to this, I am 100% passionate about people really thinking beyond what's being told to them and ask questions. What is motivating me? What's underneath my being? Why did I choose a body? Why did I choose to come into this third dimension? And what am I here to create? And you have a choice. You can be on the side of good or on evil. And I'll tell you, I promise you, on the side of evil is lust, sin, gluttony, sloth, the 7 deadly sins. That's a tale as old as time. So I'm going to leave you with this. Don't be obvious. Don't focus on the obvious as the thing that's actually your life. Dig deeper. Find the motivation and the motive and the intention and the inspiration that lives inside of you. And this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Go forth into the world and express your freedom, and trust me, I am here to be the catalyst for more for you. I'm here to be the catalyst for you to live, be your truth. This is Rebekah Freedom. I love you so much. Let's do this. This is Rebekah Freedom, and this is Motivation in the Car. I'm literally driving in the car, and we're going to have a little talk today about the fact that convenience breeds apathy. So if you live in the Western society, if you live in a culture of technology where you have a cell phone that you can pick up and call anybody at any time, or you can text anybody at any time, you can go to the grocery store to get your food, you drive a car, you have public transit, you don't have to go out into the field and hunt and gather and kill, you don't live in a teepee, you live somewhere that's climate controlled, air conditioned, you go into an office where you collect a steady paycheck. If you are in the mill, know that slowly your life is being drained from you because convenience breeds apathy. And apathy, think about it. If you think about the three killer things that happen in our life, is laziness, apathy, and complacency. We just get lazy. Our bodies, lazy basically is drained of energy and laying on our backs, hoping that we can have something that somebody else has without doing the things that they are doing to create that, okay? Apathy is simply a feeling of like not caring anymore. Just the lack of pleasure, anhedonia, basically. I can no longer get pleasure from my life. I'm just going through the motherfucking motions. And then complacency, where you just look at things and be like, oh, that's how it is. That's how the world is. And you're going to hear a lot of wind in the background because the Santa Anas are blowing right now in California. So I hope that you can hear my voice clearly. So where are you fucking up in your life? Where have you become lazy, apathetic, and complacent? Lack. That's what lack energy is. Lazy, apathetic, and complacent. Where have you decided to just be like, well, this is good enough. I don't have to push any harder. I'm getting old. I'm too old for this. You're saying like, I have expended my capacity for experience, so I'm just going to repeat the same stupid shit over and over again because at least it's familiar, at least that's there, and then I'm going to spend my time at the bar talking to people, commiserating with other people that are fucking miserable. Like, what is that? Who's choosing that? Are you choosing that? And then there's this other saying, whenever I listen to motivational speeches, everyone's always like, well, your adversaries are good for you. Why? Why is something that challenges you good for you, right? That sets you apart from quote unquote ordinary people. We are all ordinary. We are all ordinary. We are all most people. We are all part of the masses, and we're all part of the crowd, and we all have the ability to fall into lack, into that place where we're not trying anymore. We haven't pushed beyond our boundaries. We haven't asked questions. And again, ask and you shall receive is not some formula so that you can go shop at Bergdorf's and have a new freaking Louis Vuitton bag. That's not ask and receive. Ask and receive is like, guess what? If you're going to ask for this, then you're going to be challenged to rise to the fucking occasion. Hear me. Do you hear me? I know I'm talking to one of you. I know that you're sitting in your home, you're working your job, and again, jobs are nothing. Job is, the energy of the word job is betrayal. So look into the etymology of words, into the word of relationship. I want a relationship. Well, what are you relating? You're just transmitting a message, right? Versus an relationship, something that's harmonious, glorious, and versus a partnership, a pairing, a coming together of two. What are you asking for? If you ask for it, because I promise you, life will not give you more than you demand of yourself. You demand it and command it. You say, listen, body, it's going to be unfucking comfortable to go to the gym and to get on this treadmill and to beat your heart and to be able to make a change. It's going to be uncomfortable to take the time out from Sunday to not sit around and watch football, but to work from home and to put my meals together. It's going to be uncomfortable to have to search for a job when I wanted to be an entrepreneur and admit that maybe I've failed. It's going to be uncomfortable to tell the love of your life, listen, I'm outgrowing you. I'm outcreating you. I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to stop loving you. Love is infinite. Of course, we're connected. It brought us together, but this is the time in my life where I have to go explore beyond because I've been asking what else is possible. And when you ask this, you have to be willing to have your job and your life fall apart. And hear me, it's not fun. It's not a fun, comfy, cozy process. And I'll tell you what happens with opiate addicts and heroin addicts and drug addicts and people who are alcoholic and people who eat too much and who are sexaholics, you're skipping steps, okay? People always want the body, they want the money, but it's uncomfortable. You have to go through the discomfort before you get the reward. Hear me. You have to go through the discomfort before you get the reward. You know how many nights I stayed up fretting, wondering if I was going to get my bills paid? Those nights are not over. Because I continue to scale and climb. There's always a next level. There's always a next rung. I know somebody who he's like, I'm great with money, but the love of his life is slipping through his fingers because he doesn't have the skills, or you can't force somebody to love you like you want to. You can't will that. All right? And let's talk about willpower. Willpower. What is that? That is not manipulation of another person. Willpower is I will or I won't. And the things you won't do will show up in the life that you don't have. All right? It's very clear. It's very clear that we all have this one shot. And let's talk about learning. Let's talk about what the hell that is. What the hell is learning? Learning is literally remembering. To remember. To reassemble information and sensation into something that coagulates into meaning, into direction, into focus. You came here with a mission. It's in numerology, it's a letter you wrote to yourself. In astrology, it's something that said, listen, this is the template, this is the map of which the foundation you're going to build your life on. Now, does it give you all the gnarly details? No. And I tell you what, the Wayne Dyers, the Deepak Chopras, the Tony Robbins of the world, if you listen to them speak, they very rarely do they break it down into the finite, meticulous art of exactly what you need to do, because the fact of the matter is you're not going to know exactly what you need to do and how to be meticulous until that moment calls you out and says what has to happen next. I always work with people that want to be able to say, like, well, tell me the results in the giant big picture. Tell me everything that's going to happen. And I'm like, listen, it's not about that. It's literally about like the next step, the next move. Because in your body, in an infinite being stuck in a body, that's how it unfolds. You wake up, you do some activities throughout the day, and that's another thing. If you want to see your dreams turn into anything material, you have to activate them. You have to activate them through your actions. Take a breath. Did you get that? Did you get that? You know? A dream, a goal, let me say this, a goal without a plan is just a dream. It's just, you're just basically like, I had this cognition come to me in my sleep and it was so very vivid and real, except for when I woke up, there was a completely different level of surroundings, of molecules that were dictating to me what reality was. Did you know you can manipulate the molecules around you? You can manipulate the weather. You can and this is people call sorcery. Break it down. Source. Source. The origin of energy. Sorcery. Right? So, do you want to have whatever you want? Do you want to be able to, and having what you want and wanting something is actually a calling. It's something tugging on you, saying like, I want this. And be aware that lusts are not wants. Lusting after something, saying like, oh, this will be the quick fix that'll provide me pleasure, that will get you into the idea and the notion you can skip steps. And when you skip steps, you get, again, lazy, apathetic, and complacent. You live in lack. And then you'll have the mediocre life that everybody refers to as the common man, you know, the other, most people, the ordinary person, right? Demand more of yourself. Demand it. Demand it. And how you demand it is you sit down and you get very real and you take an inventory of your bad habits, the places that you've become lazy, the places you've become apathetic, the places that you've become complacent, where you said, nah, whatever, men are just how they are. They're stupid. Oh, women are crazy bitches. They're just how they are. I can't ask for more than that. You can ask for whatever you want, but be assured that what you ask for will show up as challenges to help you rise to the occasion. And I really just want to define freedom. The energy of freedom is not doing whatever I want whenever I want. Hear that. A lot of people think, oh, I have freedom. I can do whatever I want whenever I want. No, you are charged. Your moral responsibility as a human being is to be an advocate for those who need you, animals who are in pain, because I promise you there's good and evil in this world. There are both forces working for creation and for destruction. And while you're here, you get to choose what side you want to be on. You know, maybe you work for preventative reasons, like we wouldn't have so many shelter animals killed if we were more circumspect about our breeding habits. We wouldn't have so many humans killed if we were more circumspect about our sexual habits. You know, there's like, if you just really stop, say, where can I be the light and the lighthouse into the world that makes a difference? That's freedom. That's freedom, is using your body, voice, and mind for advocacy for somebody who hasn't yet learned how to be free, who is trapped in the prison of lack. And it's a prison. It is a prison. Make no mistake. And your body will start talking to you. It'll start telling you things, right? I've had experiences where I'll get really amorous and I'll be like, oh, you know, it's fine. I'm just going to hook up with this person. And then my body will talk to me. I've had to go through the cycle several times. And I know this is a big share, but I just know so many other people out there, you may be one of them, where you'll hook up with somebody or you'll have sex with somebody, and then next thing you know, you have to be at Planned Parenthood because you have an STI, or you have a yeast infection, or you got pregnant, or you have HIV, or you have herpes, or, you know, your health has been compromised. And that's a big, 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 big thing to deal with, to say that, like, the things that I was doing to create affection have resulted in an infection. Okay? So just examine. I want to leave you with this. If you hear nothing else during this, I want to leave you with this car cast right now, is to say that your homework is this: write down your limiting thoughts, your beliefs and habits that are creating lack, laziness, apathy, and complacency in your life. And then write down the opposite of what those would be. What would be the highest demand of yourself? If the highest demand of yourself is to make $100,000 or to make $1 million, then write that down. Ask, what will it take for me? I'm lazy. I'm making $40,000 a year. You know, I'm writing it out on the government. I'm not really happy. Whatever. And it might not be about the money. It might be like, I'm married, it feels comfy and cozy, but we're not really talking like we used to. Okay, well, write what the opposite of that is. I live an impassioned life where I get to travel and see different sites. I'm able to connect with people on a really deep level, and I'm maturing and I'm evolving my consciousness, and I'm able to expand as if by magic, as if when I ask it, it magically shows up. And the money I need is showing up. The people I need are showing up. Versus like stuck, stagnant, repetitive, complacent. That's the homework. Write it down. Send it in. If you are truly stuck and you can't move forward in your life, RebekahFreedom.com, REBEKAH freedom.com. This is my mission and my purpose on life, is to catalyze people towards more, towards freedom, towards being advocates to the world, towards the repairing the rainforest, towards consuming less and giving more, towards being a force of change in the world for good. If you want that level of freedom in your life, then let's do this. Love you so much. Go get it. This is Car Motivation, brought to you by Rebekah Freedom. So if you live a life of anticipation, where that is the thing that you are using to be able to create your reality and to stretch forth, you will never come to completion through anything. You will pick women who are short-lived and short lives, and you will make sure that when you get married, there's a divorce on the other end of it. You will always have a plan B, a back out, like a trapdoor, some sort of loophole. Because if you are only living in the energy of anticipation, what else is there except for the future? It will come someday. It will come someday. It will come someday. The anticipation, the sitting there and waiting, that is going to be able to be how you are creating. But if you really want to get to a whole other energy, a whole other level, the level of accomplishment, where it's like, I have an accomplice, right? Listen to that. If you listen to words are your wand. What is accomplishment? Accomplice is in there. So who was your accomplice to get you to that place that you meant to be, to get you to that target, right? The universe, God, His holy self, Chi, the energy, and I promise you, the energy of discipline, right? Be a disciple of discipline. Because when you can't show up for life, discipline will show up for you. It's waiting at the gym for you. It's waiting in your bank account for you. It's waiting in your relationship for you. It's waiting in your spiritual practice for you. It's waiting in your clean house for you. Your discipline is waiting for you. It's saying, get with it. But if you sit there and live in anticipation, you're always going to be waiting. I'm going to say it again. If you are sitting there in anticipation, you will always be waiting. Maybe somewhere, maybe somehow. You map it out. Map it out. Get your pen, get your paper, get your big freaking notebook and map it out. Write every single area that you have a habit that is breaking you. And then you break that habit. Whoa, can I say it again? Write down everywhere you have a habit that is breaking you. And then you break that habit. Come on now. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? It is a misty morning out here in California. Praise God, it's been raining. We need it. Hallelujah, hallelujah. What else is possible in this world of creation and manifestation except to live a life of elation, right? Where you are absolutely joyful. You're waking up with so much gratitude because you understand the things that have been given to you, the things you've been grinding for, that you have. This is not a gift. You don't see the behind the scenes. You don't see the heartbreak that I went through. You don't see the years that I was uncertain. You don't see my current confusion. You don't see the people that I need in my life and the people that have left me that I wanted to have around. You don't see when I fall down. You don't see it. You don't see it. People don't see it. And you know what? Further, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. No one is going to care more than you do. And the degree to which you care is how life will treat you. Can I get that? Can you get that with me? Let's get that together. All right. In 1, 2, 3. People are not going to get with you, and you are not going to get with life until you teach them how to treat you by the degree of which you care for yourself. And by yourself, I mean this vehicle that is your body. If you don't have six-pack abs, that doesn't mean that you're not lovable. It means that you choose things to be able to circumvent the pain of not being seen, right? Acknowledge me. Do I exist? What's the most painful thing in this life? The most painful thing is to look down, to see you have a body, but to feel fucking invisible. Invisible. Well, go from invisible to invincible. Go from anticipation to accomplishment. And how you get there is you grind. You grind. Okay? Just breathe with me now. This is the pulse of your life. You're not going to stick the landing every time. It's not about that part. The practice is the hardest part. Getting to the gym is the hardest part. Sitting down and doing your accounting is the hardest part. And what's not wrong about bossing your money around, right? You can invite somebody to the party, but you can be like, these are the rules, bitch. These are the rules, right? Because everywhere in our life, if we're not the boss of the energy in there, if we're not being the guide, the negotiator, if we're not being able to be the general, the one stepping in, if we're not the one mapping out our life, well then, if you do not claim your life as your own, someone else will sit on your throne. If you do not claim it, right? You have to, and keep going. Keep going. All right. Build that bridge by belief in yourself. Never give up. Keep trying. Keep adjusting. And you will get to the other side. And on that side, there is freedom. This is Rebekah Freedom. I love you so much. I am arriving at the gym today. I'm going to go hit it, meaning high intensity training. I'm going to leave it out on the carpet because I guarantee there's going to be pie in my future. Happy holidays, everybody who's listening to this. And if If you need to reach out to me, it's RebekahFreedom.com, REBEKAH freedom.com. Go get it. Go get it.